address something. We've got a bunch of people who have been stuck on this line of best fit assignment for a few days because they don't quite know how to finish it off. Well, as you get later in the assignment, you see some questions that look like this with no line of best fit, no equation, and no answer here. And it asks you to write an approximate equation of the line of best fit. So let's address that. And if you haven't done that, watch this video carefully and follow these instructions. And each line is going to be a little bit different. So you have a line tool in Aleks that you can use. And so when you decide where to start your line, look at your data and then come up here on the y-axis and look at the numbers that are up there. You got 24, 28, 20. If you look, 28 is a little bit high. If you start there, you might be able to come down through the data, or 24 might be a little better number. But let's try 28. Okay, I gotta back up for just a second because I messed up my line tool. So sometimes you have to try again, and you can do that because you have that little delete key. Okay, so I'm going to start at 28 and then drag a line down through there. And when I get down here to the x-axis, I'm going to try and land on a really nice known number. Do you see how I drug through to 32? All right, that's good. Now I'm going to stop right there for just a second and explain why I just did that. The reason why I landed where I did was because I wanted to be able to find the slope of that line, and I wanted to have a good y-intercept up here. Now I could have drug it and landed over here, but that wouldn't have been a very good line of best fit. I could have taken it up here. That would have been off a little bit. I could have hit on 28, which wouldn't have been that bad. But to me, the best approximation is right there on 32. Okay, so let's keep track of what we have. We know our y-intercept right there, which we love to call b, and everybody doesn't seem to be able to remember what that is. It's the b in the y equals mx plus b equation. So that's 28. Now, to go from this point right here to this point, even though that's a little bit of a distance, it's really easy to do to find the slope. So I'm going to go from here to get down here. I got to go down 28, right? So on my slope, I know that the change in y is minus 28. Now what about the change in x? I'm going to go from 0 over to 32, so my change in x is 32. I just picked 2 points on the line, and I got how far down I go and how far over I go to calculate the slope. So now I have to divide 28 by 32 on my calculator. So 28 divided by 32. If I divide this, I get negative 0.875. Now they told me up here, well, did they say? They didn't really say how far it were around it. It just said to put your slope as a decimal. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get, I have y equals negative 0.875 x plus 28. Now, if you rounded this to negative 0.88 x plus 28, Aleks probably wouldn't care. He'll still give you the correct answer, right? Just keep in mind that you have to have a decimal here, and if you can round it to the nearest tenth, or well, preferably hundredth, that would be great. Okay, so that's your equation, one of those. Now we're going to find out Using this equation, either one of them, predict the time spent doing homework for a student who spends 12 hours watching TV. So I have to just plug 12 into one of those equations. So if I do that, I end up with y equals, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the bottom equation because we rounded it to the nearest hundredth. So negative 0.88 times 12 plus 28. Now if I do negative 0.88 times 12 on my calculator, negative 0.88 times 12 equals negative 10.56, and then I'm going to add 28 to that to get my final number. So plus 28, and I end up with 17.44 hours. So that's all you have to do. Make a good line of best fit, pin the ends of it on good numbers so that you can find the slope easily. Turn the slope into a decimal so you can multiply it easily. So you use that to write your equation, and then use the number they tell you to plug in this case 12 hours, to calculate the final answer. It's really not difficult, so give it a try. There's 2 or 3 like that. I think you'll be able to get through the rest of this assignment. Thank you very much.